Imagine trusting someone with your whole heart, believing every word they say, feeling safe because you thought you finally found someone honest. And then one day, something doesn't add up. A story changes, a detail slips, or a truth comes out accidentally, and your entire world shakes. You start asking yourself, why would they lie? I trusted them. I never gave them a reason to hide anything. That confusion, that sudden punch of betrayal is something almost everyone experiences, yet very few understand. What if I told you that most lies people tell have nothing to do with your trust, your loyalty, or your value? What if the real reason they lie is rooted in fear, insecurity, and psychology so deep that even they don't fully understand it? The truth is, people lie not because you're unworthy of honesty, but because they're terrified of something within themselves. And today, you're about to discover exactly what that is. Lying is one of the most painful forms of emotional betrayal. Not because of the lie itself, but because of what it makes you question afterward. You begin doubting your judgment, your intuition, and even your memories. But the surprising reality is this: lying is a universal human behavior, and even the people you trust most can fall into it without malicious intent. Psychology shows that dishonesty often comes from emotional survival, not from evil intentions. People lie to protect their image, to avoid conflict, to escape consequences, or simply because they fear disappointing someone they care about. Some lie because their ego can't handle the truth. Others lie because they grew up in environments where honesty was punished. And some lie because they believe hiding the truth is kinder than saying it. In this video, we're not just exploring why people lie, we're uncovering the hidden motives behind every deception, the fears that shape dishonest behavior, and the patterns that turn small lies into broken trust. By the end of this video, you'll see lying not as a random betrayal, but as a predictable psychological response you can finally understand, recognize, and protect yourself from. Most lies begin with fear of being judged, rejected, or punished. Even people who care about you can hide the truth when they believe honesty might lead to conflict. In psychology, this is known as avoidant deception, and it's far more common than people realize. When someone lies out of fear, they aren't trying to hurt you. They're trying to protect themselves from a reaction they think they can't handle. Maybe they fear disappointing you. Maybe they fear losing your respect. Maybe they fear triggering arguments they don't know how to navigate. The mind exaggerates consequences, creating imaginary scenarios where the truth explodes into chaos. And to avoid that imagined chaos, a lie feels like a shortcut to safety. That's why even the most trusted people, those who genuinely love you, can still lie when they feel insecure or overwhelmed. It's not about you. It's about their emotional limits. The tragedy is that in trying to avoid short-term conflict, they create long-term damage. The lie becomes the very consequence they were trying to escape. Understanding this helps you see dishonesty not as hatred, but as fear that was stronger than their courage. Many people lie because the truth threatens the way they want to see themselves. Everyone carries a personal image of who they believe they are. Strong, intelligent, responsible, loyal, or morally good. When reality doesn't align with that self-image, the brain reacts defensively. Instead of admitting a mistake, they create a version of the story that feels safer. Instead of accepting a flaw, they hide it behind excuses, half-truths, or complete fabrications. This isn't always intentional manipulation. Often, it's a subconscious survival strategy. The ego is fragile, and honesty can feel like a direct attack on one's identity. So people lie to maintain the illusion of who they want to be, not just in your eyes, but in their own. Even people who value honesty deeply can fall into this trap because admitting that they were wrong feels like admitting that they are flawed at the core. These lies are usually small at first. A little distortion, a little denial, but they grow. And as they grow, trust breaks. When someone lies to protect their image, it isn't because you can handle the truth at S. Because they can handle how the truth makes them feel. For some people, lying isn't a choice, it's a reflex. Compulsive or habitual liars often grew up in environments where honesty led to punishment, criticism, or humiliation. In those early years, the brain learned a pattern. The truth equals danger. Lying equals safety. As adults, this pattern continues automatically. They lie even when the truth is harmless, and even when honesty would make their lives easier. These lies are not calculated. They are instinctive. They don't think, I should lie here. Their brain jumps ahead and fills the gap with whatever feels safer or more comfortable. Habitual lying also creates an emotional buffer that protects them from vulnerability. Being fully honest requires exposing parts of yourself, and for someone who fears judgment, that exposure feels terrifying. Even when they want to stop lying, the habit pulls them back, because lying feels natural, while honesty feels risky. This doesn't excuse their actions, but it explains the psychological roots. It's like a muscle memory of survival, and unless they actively work on self-awareness and healing, they remain trapped in the same cycle that once protected them but now destroys their relationships. Shame is one of the strongest human emotions, and it can drive even the most honest person to hide the truth. When people fear looking weak, insecure, broke, irresponsible, or less than, they reach for lies as a shield. Embarrassment creates an intense, internal pressure wand that whispers. If they see the real you, they'll see you as a failure. This fear can push people to cover up mistakes, exaggerate successes, hide financial struggles, or pretend they are doing better than they actually are. These lies don't come from malice. They come from vulnerability. The more someone cares about how you see them, the more likely they are to lie to protect that image. In their mind, the truth becomes something dangerous, not because it's harmful, but because it threatens their dignity. And instead of trusting you with their imperfections, they assume you'll judge them the way they judge themselves. Ironically, these lies often hurt the most, because they happen even in close relationships where honesty should feel safe. Understanding this helps you see that embarrassment, not betrayal, is often the hidden force behind dishonesty. While many lies come from fear, some are calculated. Manipulative people lie with a purpose: to control outcomes, influence your emotions, or gain something they want. These individuals understand that trust is a powerful tool, and they exploit it to reshape reality in their favor. Their lies can be subtle, changing small details, withholding key information, twisting events, or they can be bold and strategic. Unlike fearful liars, manipulative liars are not trying to avoid consequences. They are trying to create them. They lie to escape responsibility, to maintain power, or to manipulate your perception of them. They lie not because they feel insecure, but because they feel entitled. These lies can be the most destructive because they are deliberate and repeated. A manipulative liar knows exactly what they're doing, and their dishonesty is part of a larger pattern of control. While not everyone lies with intent, those who do can leave deep emotional scars. Recognizing these patterns early protects you from being trapped in someone else's version of reality. One of the most surprising reasons people lie is to protect your feelings. They believe the truth might hurt you, so they soften it, twist it, or hide it entirely. This type of lying, called protective lying, usually happens in families, friendships, and romantic relationships. The intention is care, but the result is always harm. People convince themselves that they are being kind by avoiding the truth, but what they are really doing is avoiding the discomfort of honesty. They think, if I tell them the truth, they'll be hurt, without realizing that lies create deeper wounds once they surface. In many cases, the person isn't protecting you, they're protecting themselves from seeing you in pain. They underestimate your strength. They assume you can't handle honesty, so they decide for you. These lies feel gentle in the moment, but become sharp when revealed. Understanding this helps you see that even good intentions can break trust if they replace honesty. Love cannot grow through lies, even soft ones. In the end, lies don't just change stories. They change people. They change the way you see others, the way you trust, and sometimes even the way you see yourself. But understanding why people lie brings a kind of clarity that protects you from carrying burdens that were never yours. Most lies come from fear, insecurity, embarrassment, or emotional survival, not from a lack of love or respect. And when you realize this, something shifts inside you. You stop wondering, what's wrong with me? And you start recognizing the truth. Their dishonesty was never a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of their inner battles. But here's the most important part: understanding why people lie doesn't mean you tolerate it. Trust is a fragile thing, and once it breaks, it rarely returns the same. You are allowed to set boundaries. You are allowed to walk away from people who use lies as a language. And you are allowed to demand honesty, not because you're harsh, but because you value real connections. So as you move forward, carry this with you. Awareness is protection. Understanding is power. And the more you learn about how people hide the truth, the better you become at seeing reality clearly before the lies ever reach you. Thank you for watching. If this video resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights on human behavior and how to navigate the complexities of life. See you next time.